I'm always blown away by this young man and the skill sets and just how he embraces life and does everything better than the rest of us, which is, it is quite humbling having you in studio. And again, look, now he's being all humble and sweet.
No, it's not me. It is just, you know, you're good. It's my nonna.
I joke about this because we are treading very lightly where Nonna treads.
Yep.
We are making the pizza of all pizzas in my mind. Yep. Come after me if you want, but for me, a classic Neapolitan pizza made from slow-risen dough, topped with crushed San Marzano tomatoes, fresh mozzarella and basil. Come on. And Danilo Acquisto, who is unbelievably good in the kitchen, dude. I mean, that
I'm good in other places as well, Graham. I just love food. I love food.
But that's it. It's the culture, right?
Yeah,
it's the love of making food that gets me into food, right?
And particularly this recipe is so wonderful because it really has a lot of roots in Italian culture.
Give us a bit of background if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I mean, basically, there's two kinds of pizza bases that you know. There's those that like it crispy, and that's the very sort of Roman style of making pizza. And then you've obviously got this Neapolitan style pizza, which is...
From Napoli.
It's got much more love in it because the dough sits for at least 48 hours. It must sit there and ferment for about 48 hours, which gives it that really doughy edges as well too. So if you've ever been to a restaurant and you've had that really puffy outside, that's chewy dough, that's a Neapolitan style pizza.
You can taste the love.
It always comes down to the flour you're using. So we're using here a doppio zero flour, which means double zero. It is the finest ground flour, very high protein flour in it.
Wow,
and that's what you have to, it's all about the quality ingredients for a good Neapolitan pizza.
Hence why guys who make it in another country are flying out like the volcanic rock and the tomatoes and the mozzarella. Okay, I get that.
You cannot make this thing. We're going to cheat today, and my nonna is going to tan in her grave, and she's going to give me hell. But you cannot put this thing technically in an electric oven. But we can try and facilitate the same kind of style.
We can get as close to the original as possible. Okay, I like that. Thank you.
So in order to do that, we obviously want to try and get this oven as hot as possible. So if you could preheat this oven to me for like as hot as you can possibly get it.
1 million
the hottest it can go. If it can get to 1 million, put it on 1 million. That's where you want it.
On 1 million.
Now, this dough should sit for 48 hours, and because of TV, 1 hour later or 2 weeks later, this dough is sat for 48 hours. And you want to hand crush your sort of tomatoes. They've got San Marzano tomatoes here. Hand crushing them is the best. This does not look like somebody crushed them by hand, so I will speak to the team behind the scenes.
Maybe they came from a tomato festival, you know?
Exactly. So you want a really good, rich tomato, hand crushed, just salted lightly. You can herb it if you really like to, but the beauty about these pizzas is you really want to keep the ingredients simple and let every flavor stand for themselves.
I discovered that, and sorry, I know I'm crossing borders here, but in Barcelona, which has a very similar kind of fresh, fruity culture, where you celebrate a kind of tomato to the point that you literally will have bruschetta and the tomato and garlic, and you'll just brush it on the bread to just get the most out of it. And I think this is that for me. It might have come from a socio-economic challenge being faced, and I'm pretty sure that's how most great food is discovered, or certainly street food. But how many amazing chefs do you think have layered in their brilliance into something so simple, man?
It must be. I mean, but like you said, what I love about a lot of these recipes that we dig today comes to the most simple environments. It's often the poorest of the poor who were innovative and trying to play, and they had times. They put lots more love into the recipes that they create. Not all pizzas are equal, and I think you need to recognize that as well. So we're also cheating again on here because I do recognize not everything's available in your stores, but 100%. Technically this pizza should use a fior di latte as a mozzarella, so it's a very creamy...
I was going to say that's quite wetter. It's not quite burrata on that end, which is like the big cheeses or big cheeses. But I like that because it is wetter and it's a little bit more unctuous, as Mr. Wasty would say.
And if you can't find fior di latte, obviously you can use these bocconcini. Like bocconcini are like these little small mozzarella balls. They are a little bit wet on the inside and they melt beautifully. You can see it in our final product as well too, how well they melt. And then the real question to you, Graham, basil before the oven or basil after the oven?
I feel like this is a trick question.
It is.
I would ordinarily say after, but I have a feeling you want the flavors involved.
Exactly. So there are two things that I love about particularly a Neapolitan-style pizza. The first is the edge. And it's such a philosophical little message because the edges you need to kind of not touch and leave the edges alone. And it's kind of like the same thing. If you squash the edges, you obviously squash society. And so the idea is really...
temperance.
Like a pizza, let the people on the periphery be what they will be. They will make the flavor. And the same thing here. Don't squash your edges. Let them puff up, and you kind of want them to blow up in the oven in the end. The sauce itself will keep the middle and center down.
Okay.
The second is charring. So now that you've got our oven on the hottest temperature you can possibly get to, 1 million degrees.
352 million degrees.
Love it.
Okay.
Once you pop it in, you're going to put it in for a few minutes in this tray itself. You can pop that in for me.
All right.
We're then going to turn this oven up to beyond just baking it in the oven. We're then going to turn it on to grill. And we want that grill for a few seconds to really give that outer edges that burn. You almost want to burn the basil a tad bit.
100%. Okay. And I'm thinking of all the flavors are going to merge, but you're going to still get some individual flavors.
Correct.
With each bite, and then you're going to get this beautiful, unctuous, again, to use my favorite term, mix of flavors. Where can you go wrong, potentially, with this? Because I am very keen when I cook, bake, and often I'm too keen.
Biggest place to go wrong is like I've mentioned, all those main things. Don't leave your dough to sit for 48 hours at least. You can do two things. Most people will make their big dough ball. They will then cut it up into other little smaller bits and let those rest for another 48 hours. But 2 days. All other pizza dough, you almost can make on the same day.
Slow down.
Slow
Just do it. Come on. I
Leave
like
the
that.
edges. Don't touch the edges. And then obviously good quality ingredients.
How long in the oven before we give it a bit of a grill?
It's a good question. I watch it with my eyes. I see. Does it look beautiful? It looks cooked. You kind of want to see that mozzarella have melted, and if it's melted down to the center and you've got this beautiful sort of like, melty look to it.
Little pockets of.
Turn up the heat, and then you want to almost brown the edges. So that's where you want to sort of burn the extra crisps to get these little brown bits that you can see on this pizza here. And then you also want to maybe even brown some of your basil. Whoever put this fresh basil on board, my granny's coming for you.
Yeah,
luck
that's
to
all
you.
right. What is your nonna's name, or was your nonna's name?
Irene.
Irene.
Yeah, Irene was my
man.
grandmother's name. And yeah, she loved cooking, but she made really simple recipes. She also grew up in a very poor household, and so lots of peas in pasta and simple flavors was her go-to. Yeah.
I love the fact that you have taken the culinary journey as seriously as you have in your family. And I know you're always light and you've got a soft touch, but I can feel how much this means to you and how seriously you take it, because you know the nonnas absolutely demand it. Should we have a little taste now? I'm going to give you the pizza cutter of joy and happiness. There is nothing better for me as a parent than passing on the joy of cooking and being in the kitchen. It's not just about enjoying the food. The stories you can tell, the conversations you can have in the space, and it's, I suppose, why it becomes the common thread on our show. If you think of how many beautiful moments we've had, thank you, in this kitchen space. So, Betty, I'm so chuffed that we've got you here. Cheers. Ching, ching. I hope this is going to become like a weekly Italian exploration with you, and I'm getting a massive agreed from everyone in the studio. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Oh, that is lovely. If you come back next week, will you have a different print?
Oh, yes, of course. I go from leopard to sometimes a little bit of tiger.
Ooh.
Depending what I'm feeling that day. And then sometimes a little bit of Black Panther. Get ready.
What will you make if you're Black Panther?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good question. I don't know, chocolate mousse, who knows?
Maybe a tiramisu or something like that. Exactly. You're absolutely amazing, buddy. Thank you so much for taking us through a few generations of cooking love. We dig you, man.
Love this. Thank you.
Maybe you'll have a cooking show. Ryle, sorry, I know you're feeling like a third wheel at the moment. Come on, man. I'm sorry.
This shit. Nature Boy is in love with this thing, and I can't wait for the Black Panther edition. I heard that one.
You just heard tiramisu, is what you heard.
Yeah, that might be. Can I
go ahead,
a piece? This looks
go ahead.
Actually, you can have a whole pizza if you want, brother. That's how much love is in this kitchen today.
You can even, if you wanted to, just kind of play around as well, too, if you like that sort of Parmesan cheesy style. I know it's not the typical Neapolitan style pizza, but you could just grate some lekker Parmesan.
And bearing in mind, we are about a million miles away from Napoli, so we will make the most of what we've got, and this is pretty close to the original. Absolutely love it, man.
I tried my best to come here and judge Danilo, to be like, nah, this is not close, but bro, it's actually so good. I can't fault you at all.
Good, I'm glad.
I'm in Italy. Thank you.
So now pasta or pizza?
Oh, bro, I just finished that entire plate for breakfast and ask anyone here. I don't do that normally. We fasters, so clearly that was kryptonite for this belly of mine.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's
sorry.
fine.
I'm sorry.
Like the culinary assassin, he snuck in here and just destroyed all intermittent fasting. No, if this is how we're going to break the fast, I'm here for that. Hopefully, you have scanned your QR code and you are cooking along with us. We mentioned tiramisu. What would you chase this with? What is a Neapolitan dessert?
Good question. I don't know what the Neapolitans make, but I would probably say like a good sorbetto, like a good sorbet is like typically Italian, like a nice lemon sorbet, or just chase it with an espresso. Like I
was going to say another pizza.
Yeah, that's true.
What does that say? We love making it as a dessert. It's one of my favorite simple things to make. A little bit of vanilla ice cream and a shot of espresso on top. It's called Man, I keep forgetting all these important names. But it's a really delicious dessert because that sweetness of that creaminess.
Affogato?
Affogato.
Affogato.
Nice.
Yo, people in this studio know stuff, yo.
Yeah,
people
wow.
know stuff.
Wow. I forgot it. I love that. That's a goodie. But an affogato is the most perfect dessert to follow on for something like this. Otherwise, yeah, a good tiramisu is always really, really yummy. The
I still
Italians love
maintain you're allowed to have another pizza as your dessert.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do we say ciao, hey?
Ciao, ciao, ciao. Oh, buon appetito. Just
Buon
enjoy your
appetito.
food. Buon appetito.
Ciao, Bella.
See you now.
Cheers. This is lovely, man.